no, was it me? I offered to calculate the value of Bingo or 66's account. It's right here in saved. And yeah, so we started breaking it down, and we're going over all the numbers. I wanted to do a little separate live clip here, and we are going to live clip it so it has its own YouTube video. So when people say, oh yeah, Melt broke it down one time, you don't have to go looking through an hour-long video. You can just watch this short clip, and we'll break it down. So the major elements of this guy's account are not really 4, 5 level 40 items, which are expensive. It's not 5 elite items. The Armor of the Tyrants, the Crafting Titans, are all max rolls, and these are gambled items, so you could have bad luck on them. It's not the fact that he has 4 Spirit Gems in each, and although those do cost about 30,000, 40,000 gold a weekend to get into the top score, they also have a 3rd or 4th one from being in the Galactic Battle last season and the seasons before that to have all these extra gems. So let's do create, highlight, get player time. Okay. It's actually all tied up in the commander and the research. So let's get the little stuff out of the way. The first things first is these Titans are maximum level. To craft maximum level Titans, you have to use unlimited crystals, which basically cost $50 a piece. You got to craft about 30 of them, and one of those 30 will be a top 1 percentile roll. We estimate about $1,500 to get a perfect one, if you paid the money straight up. Now, I know you can farm it a little bit, and events help you out a little bit. So to be conservative, we'll just call it 1,000. And he's got 4 of these elite crafted items. Call that 4,000. The Magic Well pants are basically free. I mean, yeah, you got to spend some melange to get them to level 40, which is about level 40 item costs. What did I say? 1,400. 1,400 if you buy the melange at buy one get one. If you only upgrade equipment during equipment upgrade success, then you have to spend 1,300,000 gold on just melange based on the success chances. And then if you bought the melange, 1.3 million. I have a video on this. It's coming out soon, maybe before or after this video. If you bought the gold straight up to buy the melange, 1.3 million gold, $1,300. You could be conservative and say, oh, you can get the melange in other places. You can get a better deal on it in some packs. We'll call it 1 million gold. Call it $1,000. So $4,000 worth of melange for 4 super legendary. 5,000, actually, sorry, 5 pieces of gear. So where are we at with that? Oh, 9,000. Okay, 9,000 for just the gear. Now the gems and all this other stuff, that adds up to probably a couple $100 during special events. We'll call that 10,000. Seems like a lot, but it's really not. The real value, like I said earlier, is the research to have the tier 11 gear, and then to have a 1 million leadership commander. I've already done a video on having a 1 million leadership commander. We did all the math back 6-8 months ago, and at the time we were getting like 70,000 gold per pack, not 100,000. So back then the calculation was about 33,000, depending on if you released 10 and then absorbed commanders, or if you just straight up added leadership. It was actually cheaper to release and add. Now that there's more commanders, it might not be. We have to run those numbers again. It might be a constant too. But anyway, 1 million leadership commander, 30 grand. In today's market, maybe 25 grand. Not cheaper. 25 grand's pretty conservative. So 10,000 we were already at, plus 25,000 for a 1 million leadership commander, takes us to 35. And you're going, Melt, $35,000, that's a lot of money, that's a house, that's a nice car. Well, he's got tier 11 research. Tier 11 research for multiple troop types, not just one troop type, multiple troop types. You can go over to Advanced Battle, well, I can go over to Advanced Battle, and I can look at what it takes to get my first tier 11 troop. It requires Advanced Infantry Research for Defense Level 5. Okay, I go over here. This is Advanced Infantry Defense Level 4 to upgrade it. It needs 40,000 unlimited crystals. See that right there? 40,000. See that little 40,000 right there? I have to have 40,000 just to go from 4 to 5. But I also need this one, which is 20,000. So I need 60,000 unlimited crystals just to have the option to upgrade this, which is another 30,000. That is 90,000 unlimited crystals. The only way to get unlimited, well, not the only way, but pretty much the only reasonable way to get unlimited crystals is to buy packs. And in those packs, you get 1,000. Now, during some events, they'll give you 1,500. and they'll give you 5 pure crystals, which you can turn into another 500. So even saying that unlimited crystals you were getting 200 for $100, twice the value, you still need 90,000 of them. And if you're only getting 2,000 at a time, that's, what is that, 2,000, 4,500? No, more than that, 45,000? I don't even know, let me see. 2,000, it's 90,000, gosh, I can't believe I can't do math. You can never do math on stream, I try all the time, it's the worst thing. Divided by 2,000 is 45 transactions. Yeah, 45 transactions at $100 a piece. It's 4,500 bucks. Not to mention, you've got to have 166 million food, 166 million parts, 146 million cash. That's an ungodly amount of cash. You can only farm maybe 4 or 5 million cash a day if you're focused on farming cash a day. And they give out cash here and there, but not 140 million of it. And you need 100 million there, and 146 million there, and 251 million there. It's absolutely absurd. But he doesn't just have one tier 11 research. He has 3, at least 2. Not to mention he already has 10, and he already has 9. So it's pretty safe to say, yeah, I had to think about that for a second, that with his research, from tier 9 to 10 to 11, not including the resources, which are a lot, a substantial amount, probably 20%, 30% of that value, because you can't farm those kind of resources. You got to buy them or get a special event or have a guild fund you. You're looking at 10,000. 10,000 per tier 11. I haven't broken that down yet. I actually have to gone through it and actually crunch the numbers, but it's not less than 10,000. I'll tell you that right now. And he's got 2 of them. So call that 20,000. So stack on 5 level 40 gears, 4 super legendary items, a 1 million leadership commander, 2 sets of tier 11, and it all boils down to 45,000? Is that what it was? 20,000 plus 30,000, 50,000 plus 60,000. Anywhere between 40 and 60,000 just to get those things. Easy 40 to 60,000 US dollars. Real money. But you're saying to yourself, Melt, no one would ever spend that kind of money. That's absurd. I say, well, that's absurd to you. But some of these guys fly their cars and their Ferraris and their gold-plated Mercedes G-Wagons into London 3 months a year. Then they fly them back to Dubai for 3 months out of the year. Then they fly them to the United States for 3 months out of the year. Then they fly them to Bermuda for 3. They carry around their boats and their cars and their yachts, and $30,000 to them isn't a lot of money if this is the game they play all the time when they're bored and they're not traveling or whatever. You think, well, no one does that. Well, of course they do. There's about one in every, well, at least 1 or 2 in every server, and there's about 16 super guilds, so there's about probably 20 players that do that in this game. So that's how it happens. But it doesn't stop there. It's not just a commander with the gear. He also has troops. He's also been playing this game for 2 years, not to mention all the shielding, all the PvPing he's done, all the gold wasted jumping around. The amount of money spent on the entire account for someone like 66 or Bingo is probably not less than 80,000, but not more than 200,000. Because you got to remember, they also have 2 1 million leadership commanders, or they have another Rogers that's 700k leadership. Sometimes they have 3 troop types, but they also have 1 million troops per slot. Oh God, I didn't even talk about the troop value. So when you have 1 million leadership commander, you got to have the troops. Well, the troops are absurdly expensive, and they're food, parts, and cash and stuff like that. And if you were to buy all that stuff, I'd have to do a video to break all that down. But the real money is absurd. 100,000, no problem, no problem. If someone would have said 100,000 to me a year ago, based on all the commanders back then, 300,000, 400,000, tier 10 was out, I said no one spent 100,000. Today, without a doubt, the top 4 players, anyone over 300 million power, that's with tier 11. Some people cheat. Anyone with over 300 million power spent 100K US dollars in this game. And that's that. I'll do a full breakdown of troops and all that stuff later, but for the sake of this clip, yeah, that should cover it. So, anyway, back to the battle. All right.